I'm a bit of an old school gardener, and I'm always on the lookout for traditional gardening techniques to improve my plot. While the Egyptians, the Greeks and the Romans are celebrated for their agricultural advancements, south of the border, down Mexico way, the Aztecs were developing their own successful systems and crops. The Aztecs introduced us to avocados, quinoa, chocolate, as well as a whole range of really tasty crops. But in my opinion, their true gift to us was their agricultural practices that are still really relevant to us backyard gardeners today. The Aztecs were masters at turning difficult sites like sloping land, marshes and shallow lakes into productive patches. And the secret was that they used silt out of the shallow lakes, as well as manures, their own included. I'm not going to do that today, but they also used charcoal, which is an amazing substance that actually grabs nutrient and moisture to it and releases it, making it available to the plants. If you're going to use charcoal, it can be a good idea to supercharge it. Now to do this, I've put some charcoal in a bucket of water and then added some compost. You can add fish emulsion or any fertiliser. And then all you have to do is give it a good stir and let it sit overnight. To use the charcoal, the first thing I need to do is dig a trench about the depth of a shovel. Now I'm pouring in a thin layer of the supercharged slurry. I'm mixing through some animal manure into the soil from the trench, and then I've just got to backfill. The way this system works is the nutrient, in this case the manure, leaches down through the soil profile, but the charcoal acts as a barrier and captures that nutrient and then releases it slowly as the plants need it. Favourite crop of the Aztecs here, corn. They liked it so much they actually devoted one of their major gods to it. So, I'm just going to plant it out. As I said, the Aztecs were smart cookies. Rather than planting one crop in a space like this, they practiced a technique called MILPA, what we know today as the Three Sisters, where you plant 3 crops in the one space, all for mutually beneficial reasons. The first crop to go in the ground was corn, closely followed by cucurbit. In this case, I've got rock melon, but you can use any creeping cucurbit like small squashes or pumpkins. These will shade the ground, protecting the soil and stopping the loss of water. And then those crops are followed by a crop of climbing beans at the base of each corn. But I've learned you need to wait to plant your beans until your corn are up to about 20 centimetres or so. So the corn act as the supports for the beans, and the beans in turn fix nitrogen back into the soil, which is food for the rest of the crops. As my final homage to the Aztecs, I'm going to plant a really underrated crop, the Tomatillos. They're a relative of the tomato, and in fact the Aztecs used these in preference to tomatoes for things like their salsas. Now they're quite frost tender, so sow your seed or plant your plants after the risk of the last frost. And the other thing is they're really poor pollinators, so you need to plant quite a few to get a decent crop. With the Aztecs being such a successful agricultural society, I reckon there's nothing wrong with bringing some of their ancient gardening methods to the modern world. As the Aztecs used to say, tortazki, which means see you later.